Good day to delegates from governments, multilateral organizations, civil society, and people who are watching from around the world thanks to the internet. We want to begin by greeting with encouragement and strength all the people and societies that have been directly and indirectly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, a situation that has been an immense challenge for the world and which requires a need for solidarity that we will continue to analyze in the future. Today we come from Acción Técnica Social in Colombia and Instituto RIA in Mexico to remind us all that the world is changing and countries are putting human rights and social justice at the center of their drug policies. This means we need to reflect on the adequacy of the international drug control regime. According to the UNODC, close to 88% of the people who use drugs do not have problems derived from this consumption, and for this reason should not be treated as sick or criminals, but as productive citizens without stigma or criminalization, who demand the right to meaningful participation in the design and implementation of public policies that affect them. People who use drugs have the right to risk and harm reduction as a complementary health strategy, particularly for those who cannot or do not wish to stop using substances, many of them who do not have serious problems and wish to maintain a functional use, such as those who use alcohol or caffeine. People who use drugs have the right to protection against torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. They have the right to not be subjected to arbitrary detention or imprisonment, the right to freedom of association and peaceful assembly, the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, and the right to enjoy cultural life and the freedom of work, expression, and information. As organizations in countries where the cultivation and production of psychoactive plants is common, we also advocate on behalf of cultivating communities to be incorporated into legal regulation frameworks using social justice principles, and we encourage member states to create incentives to transition from an illegal to a legal market. There are numerous policy innovations available to consider, from harm reduction to market regulation. Only when rights are recognized, protected, and guaranteed will we begin to overcome structural inequities. In conclusion, we come to tell you that now, more than ever, the drug policy reform movement is driven by people who cultivate and people who use drugs, who are productive professionals with full lives, and who have shown that a drug-free world is not possible. And we are learning to live in peace with psychoactive substances while we embrace legal regulation in the world as a means of guaranteeing human rights, promoting social justice, and strengthening rule of law. No drug policy will be effective today if the consultative and decision-making participation of people who use drugs and communities that cultivate are not included in the design and implementation. As the international slogan says, nothing about us without us. Thank you so much.